All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Welcome to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Darren Smith with you live in studio, along with the man, the myth, the legend, the playboy. Of course, in his younger days, what they used to call him.
I don't think anyone has ever called me that.
See, consider it a compliment. Mr. Sterling Holmes with the Sterling. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better than the Jets. Better than the Jets.
Better than the Rays, too. Look, Game 6 was last night of the World Series. And coming up on today's show, we'll be joined a little later by the Dean of Kansas City Sports, Mr. Frank Boal. We'll talk to him about NBA basketball. Of course, he was old enough to remember when it was here. I was old enough too. I was a kid.
My old basketball coach played for them. All-star Scott Wedman won a couple of championships out with Larry Bird and the Celtics.
There you go. See, so we got some ties into that. We'll also talk about whether or not Kansas City can actually get an NBA basketball team, and on top of that, we'll talk about your Kansas City Chiefs. We got a chance to get on the Zoom call with them earlier today. Got a chance to get some questions into both Andy and Patrick as it relates to, Election Day and voting on next week. So we'll get some sound from Patrick a little bit later on in the show. But first things first, and Ronnie, we'll get to your question as well. Thank you all for tuning and listening to us on the radio, on your mobile apps, if you're listening to us online as well as social media. But Sterling, of course, Game 6 last night. We all thought it was going to go 7 games, but I thought that, the Dodgers being up 3-2 could get a chance to end it, and they did. Obviously, want to get your thoughts. I thought about you as I was preparing for the show last night, what you thought of the game. Obviously, the whole situation, we're not going to talk about postgame, but we're just talking about Blake Snell being pulled.
Yeah.
I can't remember the 5th or 6th inning, and obviously the repercussion that came after that. But I couldn't wait long enough to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, he was absolutely dealing in this game, and I want to play both sides very quickly because when it first pulled Blake Snell, I was beyond confused. I was upset because Blake Snell was absolutely dealing. He had 9 strikeouts. No one was touching him. His fastball was playing up to 98, hitting the high outside corners. His curveball was on. His slider was filthy. And then Kevin Cash pulled him after a weak single by the number 9 hitter. Well, I understand what Kevin Cash was doing. I just want to say that's what he's done all year. That's what the Rays have done all year. The extremely advanced analytics, which don't leave your guy in 3 times around. I think this was a different situation. Blake Snell has not looked this good since his MVP season. He's not. You can say analytics all you want, but honestly, the analytics almost led you to believe you should leave Blake Snell in. The next guy was Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts had, I believe, 17 home runs against right-handed hitters, 0 against lefties. Blake Snell's a lefty. Mookie Betts creams right-handed hitter. He is a reverse platoon. And it was just mind-blowing to me. Blake Snell's already dominated him twice in the game, and Kevin Cash pulls him. And you saw Blake Snell. Blake Snell was pissed. He was not a happy camper.
Oh, you could read it.
You could read his lips.
They had to blur it out.
And then after, Nick, and again, if Nick Anderson comes in and does what he is supposed to do, we're probably not having this conversation.
So I'm curious, and obviously when I saw it, and then of course you saw the repercussions or you saw the ramifications of it. Of course, the manager says that obviously in hindsight, what gets me is he says that he would have still done the same thing. That's the part that's baffling to me. That's a fireable offense. I'm sorry. I mean, I know you could say, "Darren, you might be overreacting," but seriously, I mean, you got a guy that's feeling it. He hadn't given up any runs. He only gave up 2 hits
in a weak single to the number 9 hitter. And the guys you have coming up, 1, 2, 3, analytics probably say to leave him in at least against Mookie Betts, the lefty. Well, then you got another lefty coming up in Corey Seager, and you've struck out. They've been up to bat 6 times that game. The top 3 hitters for the Dodgers.
And he struck them all out. Now this is where you and I kind of bump heads when it comes to analytics, and I think that's where the manager was going with that. But I'm like, this is the word. Now I could understand if you had maybe a 3-run lead. If you had a 3-run lead, I know they were up 1-0, but if you're up 3-0, maybe you bring them out and you're bringing other starting pitchers in to, because you're trying to get to a game 7 and all bets are off then after that. But if you're up 1-0 and the man is cooking, you got to ride or die with them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't, I'd have to let you go.
So you're not firing Kevin Cash because he's done. He's done more than any other manager with less. I mean, that team, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, would be like if the Royals, with their payroll, made it to a World Series, consistently making it to the playoffs. He's an amazing manager. He overthought this one. He overthought it. That's what it comes down to, is he overthought this situation. He's done similar stuff all year. Nick Anderson, again, the analytics, I think, point to either leaving in Blake Snell or bringing in a lefty. Mookie Betts has struggled against lefties all year. I don't know what it is, but Mookie Betts has struggled mightily against lefties.
See, that, again, that's where we get, because when it comes to analytics, I'm not with all that. I just got to go with the gut. I got to go with the eye test. You see,
I think gut and analytics both point to leaving Snell in this situation.
Well, analytics pulled them out. But obviously, look, they won 3-1 over the Rays. Right now, the city of Los Angeles is happy. They believe they're the city of angels and the city of champions. They won, of course, with the Los Angeles Lakers this month as well. So this is the first time, of course, they won 2 major championships in the same month, which obviously doesn't happen in general. Your thoughts on where, obviously this is the 3rd World Series appearance that they've had in the last 4 years. They finally got over the hump. If you're a Laker, I'm not a Laker, but if you're a Dodgers fan, resident in Los Angeles, how are you feeling right now?
I mean, you got to feel great because not only did you win this year, you're set up to win long-term still. Yeah, Mookie Betts here for 12 years. The last the last 6 years of the contract is you're probably toast on as far as the money, but your goal is for these 6 years to be title contenders, and you will be. You also got young guys. Will Smith, your catcher, who is an absolute stud. You have Corey Seager, who's bounced back after a down year, his injury-riddled year before. He's bounced back to his rookie season performance. You got good young pitching, Brusdar Graterol, Dustin May, Walker Buehler. I mean, you're set up, if you're a Dodgers fan, for the long haul. So not only is this year getting a championship, World Series, but you're set up, I think, for the next 5-6 years at least with contention.
Dodgers won their first World Series in 1988. I watched that series.
Kirk Gibson, right?
That's Kirk Gibson. I was 10 years old, or Earl Hershiser. And actually, speaking of that, Corey Seager became MVP of the World Series, was also the MVP of the championship series. Should he have been that, or should it have been Mookie Betts or someone?
No, it was Corey Seager. Corey Seager was as good as Mookie Betts was. Corey Seager was just a little bit better. I think Mookie Betts, it's almost a recency bias because he hit a home run. He had a stolen base. He was flying down the base pass in this game. But Corey Seager was just that rock. Corey Seager was consistently just hitting home runs, bouncing back, driving guys in. I like Corey Seager a lot, and it was his rookie season was unbelievable. Then he got injured, and everyone was wondering, is he going to ever bounce back? And then all of a sudden, he's back. He's probably, 25? Shortstop, a premium position. I mean, if you are a Dodgers fan, you cannot be more excited for where this team is heading and what they've already accomplished.
I can't lie. I'm still shocked that it's been 32 years since they won. I mean,
as much time, as much money has been spent, as close as they have gotten, I'm with you.
I mean, especially obviously think about the Yankees and what they've done. So look, I mean, they're on a path, and you could literally see like these same 4-8 teams that were in the playoffs, the Astros and the Braves and the Yankees and the Rays and of course this could be a scenario where it kind of lines up again next year as well.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. I think the Rays are probably on the outside looking in of these teams. The Astros might,
if they don't do the playoffs the same way that they did this year.
Well, and then the Astros, because there's talks that George Springer may want out. Is Alex Bregman or Carlos Correa? What's going to happen with it? The Astros have a lot more question marks than other teams as far as who is coming back. But Atlanta Braves, they're a team on the rise. The Yankees will always be in contention because of the money. I mean, this was, though, a weird situation where in a crazy playoff scenario, I don't think it's going to happen next year. I hope Rod Manfred doesn't keep this expanded playoffs. We got extremely lucky that it was the top 2 teams with the best record. I think that also helps that it was only a 60-game season, but the best 2 teams record-wise also in the World Series, because it makes it more real in my eyes. If it was a team that was the last team in that just got hot, say the St. Louis Cardinals all of a sudden got hot, like the last team in the playoffs, they win the World Series, you may have a little question marks about it. But because it was Tampa Bay, the Dodgers, the 2 clearly best teams, there's less question marks in my mind.
So I'm curious, when you say that you don't want it, I guess you want to go back to the way it was. Don't you think change is good from time to time?
In some scenarios, yes, but baseball was the one sport where it was extremely difficult to make the playoffs. You have 162 games. That's why the regular season means so much. There's so many games for a reason. It's so that way you can clearly tell which team is good and which team is bad. I don't want to go into a playoffs next year with a team who won 79 games. They get hot in a 3-game series or a 5-game series and knock off a team that won 100. To me, that's just, what's the point of the 162 games at that point? Why not stop it at 81?
Well, my pushback to that would be, you do realize that they did expand the playoffs to begin with when they got the
the wild card game. Yeah,
the wild card game and then the play-in game and stuff like that. Because I think it was just a championship
division winners and 1 wild card team.
Yeah, and so I mean, change is good, and to me, you almost have to do it from. Yeah, not saying. Well, I don't want to say perfect, but I liked it. I did like it because it gave the playoffs a sense of importance, and plus it gave people, I guess, during this time period, obviously, a little something to watch and stuff. Now, I know if it were to go back to normal, talking about starting in April or March or whatever and go to season, I mean, I get that, but here's the thing: the NFL, they've expanded their playoffs. I think back in the 80s to
and now
and so but fans aren't clamoring for it to go back. I mean, they if you do it in a way that makes the playoffs more important, makes winning in the regular season more important, I don't have a problem with expanding a little bit, because I mean, as we talk about with the NFL, it's important for the Chiefs to have a better record than Pittsburgh right now, because you want them to have the number 1 seed in a bye week going into the playoffs where the other 6 teams are trying to knock each other off.
My thing is just, baseball is the one sport where it is based on who's hot at the right time. It really, I mean, a lot of the Royals,
basketball
the Royals were not the best team in 2014 or 15. Maybe 15. 15 you could say they were, but 14, no chance. They got hot at the right time. As fun as that was, they were still got in this newer playoff format, but not the newest one. This newest one, you could realistically see a team winning 78 games, get hot, and then win the World Series. And in my opinion, it just waters down the regular season when there's 162 games to try and get through this to begin with. I don't want to water down the playoffs.
Well, I'm not saying make it the NBA where half the teams get in there, but but again, if it draws fans in other cities, and I'm not thinking just Kansas, I'm thinking league wide. If you expand it, you have more people that are willing to buy into it, and I think it kind of helps the local team economies, especially if your teams are close at the very end where they can fight it out, and then it kind of drives interest and ratings and stuff like that. So I'm looking at it from all aspects, just besides what we do here, in the office.
It would help the Royals. I will say that. It would help Kansas City. The one rule I will say that I went into not completely enjoying, but now I love it, is the 3-batter rule. I will give credit where credit is due for Rob Manfred. I thoroughly dislike Rob Manfred. I think he is bad for baseball.
Damn.
The 3-batter rule worked out a lot better than I expected. It's a lot more strategy. It does speed the game up a little bit, but it's not one of those ones where it's just for speeding the game up. It's not one of those rules that it's just for speeding the game. It also has some strategy involved, and I personally really enjoy it.
You know what I enjoy the most out of what we just saw this past season is I think they played 7-inning doubleheaders. I like that because you won. You get the game. What? You back to old school.
I'm a typical old school baseball guy.
If I was young in my younger days, I would love 9-inning doubleheaders. But then, if a game goes 15 innings, and which they have done, they have had some long games these last few years. Then it kind of runs late into the midnight. I like it because it allows the game to go fast. Stats still count. And I mean, you get 2 games for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Most times.
No, it was not the worst thing, especially in this code, because without this, you may not have been able to finish the season. I mean, realistically, the Cardinals had to play it was 20 games in 14 days or something crazy. I mean, they had to catch up on all these games. They had to do all these doubleheaders. If those were 9-inning games, those bullpens would not have been able to hold up. Those starting pitchers could not hold up. I mean, it worked out for this year. This was also a very different type of season. And I think all things considered, Major League Baseball did a great job.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask that before we close this chapter on baseball, how would you grade this past baseball season, 60 game, as well as the playoffs?
I'll give it a B. I think you can't take away how it started. The season started extremely rocky with the players, the owners, Rob Manfred not being on the same page. They had the best chance to gain new fans, to go out and try and grab a new audience. They didn't do it. They bundled that. But when it came down to it, they got everything in. All the games got finished. The playoffs were exciting, and the World Series was great. The World Series was outstanding.
They had championship series as well.
Championship, yeah. And you got all the storylines of Randy Arozarena coming out of nowhere, setting World Series and playoff records. You had a small market team in Tampa Bay going up against a giant in Los Angeles. You had analytics versus somewhat analytics. Don't get me wrong, Dodgers do use a lot of analytics more than the most teams. So all things considered, this was a very good season.
I can't disagree with that. I'll give it a B as well. I mean, especially knowing how you could have started the season now, I believe, earlier than what they were. But of course, the Players Association, Major League Baseball couldn't come to an agreement. I think they had to be kind of prodded and shamed to get to where they were. The way they started was okay, but then of course you had to break out with St. Louis and Miami. After that, everybody got look, and I got a chance to go to a few of the Royals games, and I ain't gonna lie, I mean, I know there's a big difference with fans not being there. Yeah. I got in and out of the stadium pretty easily.
It's kind of nice.
It is nice not to have to deal with traffic. But playing games without fans, it really is something that you hope going further doesn't happen any longer. And granted, because the Chiefs were able to. Kansas City did lift the restrictions for the Chiefs where they had, but I'm still wondering as to why the Royals did not. I know maybe they just
baseball didn't. I mean, baseball didn't have any fans. It was a baseball rule, and then the only teams that were allowed was Arlington, which actually was nice for the World Series. I mean, it's fun seeing fans. I mean, as little as fans as there were allowed, it was still a noticeable difference having that. So
okay, well, and the reason I thought that Major League Baseball left it up to the counties and the cities and states or whatever, to the the localities, where I thought that the Royals could have had up to like maybe 5,000 fans.
No teams had fans. It was all virtual, and you'd see it on ESPN. But before we do take a break, we do have some audio from Blake Snell just post game, and I think this was the biggest decision of the game, hands down the biggest decision. We could be talking about Game 7 tonight, if not for Blake Snell being pulled. So this is what he had to say post-game.
I want to be the guy that stays out there as long as I can and, give this team the chance to win every ball game. And it sucks, being pulled. I'm not going to question him. I mean, he's a hell of a manager, so I'm not going to question him. We came up short, and the only thing you can do from this point is get better and focus on what I can do to be better for next year.
To me, he said the right things, but you can even hear in his voice. It's disappointment.
He was pissed. He didn't want to throw his manager underneath the bus. He was better than me because
I think the funniest, though, was Mookie Betts, Dave Roberts post-game.
They were shocked and was like, damn, thank you. You helped us.
I mean, this is Dave Roberts post-game.
I was just hoping that he would take him out. Austin got that base hit, and he was having his way with this. And so, once they went to the pen, I just think our guys, Mookie was the next guy up, and I think he was pretty excited. So I'm glad to see that we put some at-bats together.
When the opposing manager says, thank goodness they took him out, it's a questionable decision.
Yeah, it's something that, again, I would not have done. And if I'm the owner, I'm looking at the manager a certain kind of way. I don't care how good he is or how good he was. Either that or the analytics team is getting fired. Yeah, exactly.
Blake, obviously, Kevin Cash watched what happened with Matt Harvey in the 2015 World Series because he's like, we're not going to leave him out there too long. You got to find a fine line between, riding your starter the entire game and pulling him out. What was he expected to do? Throw a perfect game? I mean, is that what Kevin Cash was asking?
I mean, you would think, but seriously, you have if you let him pitch until it either gets out of hand or he gets injured, and at the moment you're in the lead, so you get a game 7. I mean, and then you ran the game. I don't analytics, man. I just don't get it.
If you walk a dude, I get it. Weak base hit. I don't get it. The manager, Mookie Betts, they were celebrating that decision.
Here's the thing. I don't care if he had the bases loaded. If he gets them out of that jam and they're still up 1-0, you keep him in the game.
Man, this is the decision that will potentially haunt Kevin Cash.
It's going to be like Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks, when they should have repeated, and Pete Carroll, instead of giving Marshawn Lynch the ball, puts it in Russell Wilson's hand and he gets it intercepted at the goal line.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Well, look, let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, will the NBA be coming to Kansas City? Darren Sterling, ESPN Kansas City.
In these crazy times of COVID-19, it's never been more important to support local charities like Giving the Basics. Giving the Basics helps over 250,000 people per month by supplying them with soap, shampoo, deodorant, cleaning supplies, and other everyday hygiene items that are so important. Giving the Basics works closely with local police and fire departments to deliver these products to KC families and organizations in need. You can help. Visit givingthebasics.org. That's givingthebasics.org to donate today.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg, Florida and Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Great news. The last 2 years, Lewisburg Ford has sold more Ford F-150 pickups than any other dealer in the greater Kansas City area. And last year, in the entire state of Kansas, how are you doing this?
How about that, Toby? The biggest F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas and in Kansas City. We are super proud of that. Well, the way we do it is because of the way we do it. Our pricing, the way we treat people, the trade-in values, our inventory, all of that plays into the fact that this little dealership is the biggest Ford F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas and the Kansas City metropolitan area.
Do you have a pretty good deal on a Ford F-150 pickup now?
Well, we always do. And our $50 over invoice pricing means you can get up to $13,000 off a brand new Super Crew F-150 XLT at Lewisburg Ford.
That is incredible. What is your phone number?
816-444-2300.
Or lewisburgford.com.
Work hard and play hard with Easy Sport, Boulevard's refreshing rally ale. Infused with tangerine peel and sea salt, Easy Sport hits the shelves at only 99 calories and 4.5 carbs. This subtly salty, slightly tart beer packs a punch of flavor. Whether you just finished a run, a pickup game, or mowing the lawn, Easy Sport is a refreshing, guilt-free way to celebrate the everyday. Grab an Easy Sport. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
Stuck at home? Make home more fun for the family with Family Leisure. Family Leisure has a huge selection of pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, pool tables, fire pits, massage chairs, grill islands, basketball goals, and more. Call us to find out about free no-contact delivery or free curbside service. 913-888-7727. Locally owned and serving Kansas City for over 25 years. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
Did you know on average, people only review their insurance plans once every 4 years? Hi, this is Corey Schnabel, owner of KC Insurance Group. Call KC Insurance Group today at 913-396-6320 for a no-obligation review of your current policy. If your current policy is the best fit for you, we'll tell you. If not, we'll save you some money with a tailored proposal from one of the best carriers in Kansas City. It's truly a win-win. KC Insurance Group voted 2019's best agency by Pitch Magazine. 913-396-6320 or visit us online at kcinsured.com.
Welcome back to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City Radio, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. We have the very great fortune to be joined by the Dean of Kansas City Sports Media. I'm one of his heir apparents, I can promise you that. Mr. Frank Boal. Frank, good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
We're doing
Miss you
okay.
around here a little bit.
I'm
sure you miss yourself around here a little bit.
I do.
We don't miss Sterling at all, but we miss
Frank.
We're
Frank,
good,
come on.
Well, trust what I tell you, Sterling's going to be abandoning us next month for about 3 weeks. So he's going to be doing his highfalutin thing, going out golfing.
Bandon Dunes.
Oh, you're going to Bandon Dunes?
November 1st, baby.
I've been there.
How was it?
Talk to me before you. Yeah. It was awesome.
Okay.
It was awesome.
See, hold on now. There's not too many places that Frank hasn't been because during the football season last year, Darren, you go talk to me now. I can tell you where to go.
That's exactly right.
He's been
everywhere. I've been to Bandon.
That Johnny Cash song was meant for you.
That's it. Absolutely right, brother.
Look, now there's been this big talk lately of, well, I guess as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Day or two ago,
It's lately, all right.
of Kansas City trying to rent or trying to on borrow an NBA team. Of course, the team would be the Toronto Raptors as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Canada is still not allowing people to come and travel in and out of their state. And I really don't know how Toronto was able to do it the way they have thus far. But Frank, I wanted your initial thoughts on it. And we do have some audio from both Andy Reid and Patrick that we'll get to in just a moment. But wanted your thoughts on the mayor, Quinn Lucas, and reaching out not only to Adam Silver, the NBA, but to the Prime Minister of Canada as well as the Toronto Raptors organization.
And the best thing about the way Kansas City went about it very professionally. Yeah. Okay. They didn't just go, hey, what do you think? You want to come down here and see us maybe? They didn't do it that way. They went, hey, we're serious. We want the team here. We got a state-of-the-art arena. It was built for basketball and or the NHL, whichever one would end up coming. We didn't get either one, so we put concerts in there like nobody's business. We're not having any concert business right now.
Right.
So, that's going to be for a while. So why don't you come here to this city right in the middle of the country? We've got a brand new airport going up. It won't be up quick enough, but just the idea that you can get to wherever you want to go from here. And the only problem with Toronto is they're in the Eastern time zone, and all the teams they play are in the Eastern time zone. We're in the Central time zone. It's only an hour. Okay, it's only an hour, but the travel would be big for Toronto between here and Boston, here in Philadelphia, here in Atlanta, and whoever else they play in that division.
But technically, though, if they're in Kansas City, some of those teams. You mentioned Atlanta, Miami. I mean, we're closer.
Oh,
and
sure.
So travel-wise, you're looking at it like that. But
it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. No, I think for TV it'd be great because I don't think people are looking at where Toronto's playing basketball. They're just watching Toronto play basketball against whomever that may be.
So I'm curious, still, if by chance the NBA approves it, and we don't know because of course it's all of whatever the Prime Minister decides to do. Do we call them the Kansas City Raptors, or do we just call them the Toronto Raptors on loan?
I think you just might want to call them the Raptors.
Yeah,
just period.
It's like Washington football team.
Yeah, I don't think you're not going to change their name. The NBA won't let you.
Yeah,
it's just a Toronto Raptors playing in Kansas City. That it'll still be the Toronto Raptors. So unless we get our own franchise, and then we'd go from there with that and just see. But this is a preliminary run. We've been trying to get somebody here. A permanent tenant. I know everybody says, well, Anschutz Entertainment, we've got this filled 280 times a year with all this, that, and the other thing. But I think originally when they built it, it was built for either an NBA or an NHL.
Well, both actually, because I know that we were all on the tour when they initially gave us the tour. They have two.
Oh, they got
hockey,
the ice,
yeah,
right?
They got the hockey, they got the basketball stuff.
Garth
So
Brooks didn't play here, we may have had an NBA team. I mean, that's what it came down to. What was Garth Brooks? Wasn't that during Katrina, I believe?
Yeah, you could have ended up getting instead of Oklahoma
City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the water over the dam.
But what I've been saying I've been saying this for a long time now. I said the three cities you have to watch out for is Seattle, Kansas City, and then Louisville. People kept making fun of me when I would bring up Louisville, but they do have the Yum Center. It's a very good arena. It's a very good part of town, and it's looking like Toronto's deciding between Louisville and Kansas City, which could be huge.
No, won't happen because Louisville University plays men's and women's basketball inside the Yum Center. We don't have any of that. The only thing we have here is the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
And we had an occasional game between K-State would come here and play once a year. Kansas would come in here and play.
In Missouri,
the Kansas and Missouri thing, would get played here if that was going to happen. They're going to be on campus now. But we don't have to worry about juggling all those events. The only thing we have to juggle now is the Big 12 basketball tournament. And that'd be nothing. That's for a weekend. That's one weekend. Yeah, they'd have to say you're out of town. Yeah, you just go out of town. And, you just go from there. In fact, they don't even play be stupid. Or Big 12 tournament doesn't play on Sunday, correct? They end Saturday, correct?
Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday
and Saturday. So Sunday, the NBA team could play on Sunday.
The only thing I will say, though, Frank, Wells Fargo Center, you have Sixers, you have Flyers, you have Villanova. They all play their home games in one spot.
No, Villanova only plays X amount of games.
But a good amount of games, though. They play there a decent amount of time. But my point is, they juggle it. Louisville, I'm not saying they're going to Louisville. I'm just saying, in my mind, that is a big city to watch out for.
First of all, I think a Philadelphia fist fight is going to break out between you two because but that's I'm gonna need you to do that after the break. But I kind of side with Frank, but the only other reason why is that Louisville is not a pro town,
right?
Seattle,
but that could be a positive. That could be a positive a little bit. Okay, just a little. Their chance to shine. Besides all the crap they were going through with Louisville basketball. Okay, so their chance to shine a little bit, maybe get it in here and, just see what happens. But I think Kansas City, if the NBA's looking for a trial run in a city to put an NBA franchise, here in Seattle are their two best bets. Remember,
Seattle's getting one. Seattle's 1A. If they expand the NBA, they're going to expand by two games, or by two teams. They're going to expand by two teams. It's going to be Seattle's getting one. So now there's one other spot open. Some people have said Las Vegas. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's going to be either Kansas City or Louisville. Those are the two spots that I think are the
Las
logical.
Vegas ain't a bad destination.
I was going to say, why would you say Las Vegas is not?
You'd have to do too much configuration. I think off of the bat, those are two West Coast teams. You'd have to do too much configuration. I think it's going to be a West Coast team, and it's going to be somebody you could throw in the East.
Well, Central East, but again,
as far as divisions, I'm saying.
You know what? If Vegas got one, they'd figure it out.
Trust me, because one, they play in the T-Mobile Arena.
Right there you go.
Play the T-Mobile Arena just like the hockey team does. So it would work up there. Granted, I don't want to work up there.
No, we'd rather work here. I was here originally when they had the team. I got here
in the Kings
in '81 in the Kings, and my first assignment when I came into town is I climbed. I think it was the next day or the day after. I climbed on a plane that. I just started one day. 2 days later, I was in Houston, Texas, and they're playing the Rockets in the Western Conference semifinals. That's how different it was. But the problem was it was before Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay. And just before Jordan. And number two, they had terrible ownership. Just terrible ownership. If they could have made it to the Jordan era of the NBA, we'd still have an NBA team here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard different parts about this, but when they had the team, they left in '84, the year that Jordan was drafted, but that was also when the commissioner David Stern had gotten the power, and I guess one of the caveats was, you'll be the guy, but you got to let us get the Kings out of Kansas City to wherever. I think they ended up in Sacramento.
Yeah, they're Sacramento. There's a new ownership group. They took them. It was I want to say Maloof, but it wasn't Maloof. I forget the name of those guys, but you could tell right away. We were down the Intercontinental Hotel. Then it was the Alameda Plaza Hotel. They had a big news conference in there. And these guys, you could tell when that new owner sat down and met the media, knew right away that team was gone. He was saying all the right things, but you could just tell he's lying through his teeth.
Now, of course, some of our ambassadors of Kansas City, Sterling, includes Andy Reid. And what did he have to say about Kansas City getting an NBA team?
Well, it's a phenomenal sports town, I guess. Herbie is what I'd tell him. And not that Toronto's not. I'm not saying that. They're good people up in Toronto too. So, but I believe we'd love to have you. And let's go. Let's roll. No better sports place than right here.
I love that. The let's roll just for everything.
Well, yeah, it's funny because, I got the first question in Andy, which was about voting and stuff about the thing. But then when he was asked it, he was kind of like, why you ask me this question? He's like, okay, so I got to say the right thing. So he kind of spoke into your eyes, but yeah, sure, let's roll. Kansas City.
Yeah, just okay. Next question.
Toronto, they're good people too. They're good people.
Yeah. He visits there often. They go up there a lot.
Yeah.
He's vacationing in Toronto.
So what I took from that is Andy Reid is like me. He's not a fan of Canadian beef. When I was in high school, we had a weightlifting tournament up in went to Central High School, so we weightlifted up in Canada. And you go to McDonald's, you getting all of school paying for it. So you think, oh man, okay, get a double cheeseburger. I mean, it was a double quarter pounder. And when I bite into it, I'm like, hold on, this don't taste right. This is Canadian beef. I didn't know that they don't process the meat the same way in which
we do here.
Yeah, and so
is
man,
it better?
No, I don't want to say it's better. Where it has a different taste when you're in a different country. So I had to go back to Old Faithful. I said, just give me some chicken nuggets. So I knew you could mess that up. But also,
well, they could. Well, but now
poutine.
Now the other plus in all this is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, everything he touches. We got Whataburger now. They started with 2. I think they're going to 3 now. Whataburgers. Correct.
I heard the third one yet.
One's Blue Springs. One's going to be in Overland Park, and I think there's a third one. I'm not sure.
Well, they need to get.
It'll probably be right next door to Patrick, for all I know. But
it needs to be in the urban core. But that's a whole nother matter.
Yeah.
But what did Patrick have to say, Sterling?
Just a question off the football field. And I know you took to social media and made a pitch somewhat to the Toronto Raptors, but with the city yesterday now making a formal pitch, what would your sales pitch be to the Raptors to come here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kansas City is a great spot for any franchise to be at. I mean, if you look at the support that the Royals have, the Chiefs, Sporting KC, and everyone else that plays out here, I mean, the fan base is crazy, and they love sports, and they love to be here. And if you look just down the road at Lawrence, and you see the way the Jayhawks, how they pack out that place every single week, you know that the T-Mobile Center or whatever would be a great spot for any basketball franchise to be at.
Whatever.
What was Sprint? No. T-Mobile. Yeah, got to change the name there. Colors, everything's got to change in this place.
So, look, the one thing I love about Patrick is that he has taken on the ownership of being the city ambassador.
Oh, absolutely. You can't have a better ambassador than that kid. You kidding me? He's a great kid. You see him on every commercial, and he is the kid you see. He's the one. Emptying the ketchup bottle on a steak, right on top of the thing.
Yeah, I've done that
when
too.
He's sitting in there, and it's just he's just that kind of kid. He's a good kid too. I mean, just seems like a really good kid.
And I think that pitch that he made during the World Cup, I know that they were trying. I don't know where it's at right now, but I do know he made a pitch for that. I think that's going to help Kansas City get some games definitely. Or whatever. And then of course, the NFL draft is going to be here in a couple 3 years from now. So no, I'm. Patrick he's the best at what he does.
I just hope Kansas City gets an NBA team so bad. As a kid, that was like my school project in elementary school, middle school, high school, trying to find the viability of an NBA team coming to Kansas City. And this would be a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
But here's my only question though, Frank, is that let's just say for the sake of argument, the league does a trial run with this. It's not going to do us any good if fans can't attend.
If you can't go.
I mean,
exactly right.
I mean, just to say we got an NBA team here.
The only thing they'll tell you at that point, they won't be able to tell, okay? But the only thing they'll tell you is the NBA is going to come here, the team's going to come here, and they're going to ask the teams, what did you think about your trip to Kansas City? You have a hotel right there. The players will be able to walk down to the arena instead of having a hotel in the outskirts of town being bussing in and out. They'll be right there. They'll quarantine it off. They'll be able to walk from there to the T-Mobile Center. I think the NBA teams are going to have a really positive vibe about Kansas City. I don't mean about, making Toronto move here. I'm just talking about for an expansion franchise.
But I got a question. So if you're Quinn Lucas, and I'm going to try to get, I saw him Saturday, I'll try to get him on the show either tomorrow or tomorrow night. But if you're Quinn Lucas, let's just play politics. What exactly are you offering the NBA? Because I know you mentioned hotel. What hotel would we open up to them where, hey, you ain't got to pay that. We just want you here.
They ain't going to pay nothing.
I mean, what are you?
They're not paying anything.
What kind of caveats are you putting out there?
You're going to have to get some subsidies to some of these hotels if they put them up, if they do all their stuff. Restaurants, if they're going to feed them, a hotel could feed them for all practical purposes. But just things that you're going to make it good. All your transportation stuff, the police. escorts to and from the airport or whatever, all that sort of stuff coming in here. Yeah, you're gonna have to give them some incentive. They ain't coming here for nothing.
Free cover at Power and Light. How's that?
Free cover at Power and Light. Power and Light open? No.
It was facetious. I'm talking about when
I know
actually
what
open back up.
about. Yeah, I know.
What makes you think it's going to open back up anytime soon?
What makes you think Kansas City is getting an NBA team permanently anytime soon? I mean,
I never said that.
I'm just saying.
It'll be a while.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 or 3 years before they expand.
Do they become
hopefully
the Kings
COVID's
again?
over by then?
Do they become the
No, I think they changed it because that is still there's a bad taste in everybody's mouth about that franchise.
The ABA? They go the Knights?
I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Kansas
I think
Monarchs.
they'll find. Yeah,
Monarchs.
they might
awesome.
do. The only problem with the Monarchs is it is baseball. Okay, I mean, when you think
Bob
of
Kennedy
Monarchs,
alone that,
no.
that thing out.
No. I understand
Yeah.
you'd love that, but I'm just thinking. You think Monarchs? I think baseball. I'm not thinking about NBA. Now, I think it's a great name, but I'm just that's all I'm saying.
You know what? That would be like a good contest to have. If you got,
They will have that.
Yeah, NBA or NHL. What's the name of the team?
You got to follow along the Royals and Chiefs, I think, guideline, don't you?
No.
Not really. I mean, in what way?
As far as you've had the Monarchs, the Kings, the Royals,
I
the
see what
Chiefs,
you mean.
as far as the title.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I think it should be a unique name, unique title. Although it would be for everybody else outside this market. It would be a unique name. So.
All right. Now, Frank, we're going to go into before we go to break. Well, we can get into it now. Have you voted yet?
Yes, I already voted.
So did you absentee vote? Did you mail it in, or you?
Yeah, I did they sent the ballot to me because I'm old and filled it out. And then I took it to Blue Valley Library at 151st Street and put it in the box. Yeah, I already voted. I voted last week.
So good about yourself?
Yeah, sure.
See?
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I voted every election now since I was 21. Remember,
21? What took you so long? 18, Frank.
Couldn't vote when I was
You'd have
18.
been 17.
Huh?
No. I couldn't vote when I was 18 back then.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
They were the days before you could drink or vote, and you got drafted into the Army to go fight for this country. So don't talk to me about stuff, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna talk to you about stuff. Did you get drafted?
No, I had my my lottery number was 252. They never got to it. Yep.
See, now what Sterling doesn't understand, and he had to go through when I was 18. I mean, you had to sign up for selective service.
Yeah, you do. You have to sign up. Yeah. But it became volunteer Army.
Yeah.
I mean, it became volunteer at that point. Yeah. When you guys were young.
But I still did my civic duty, and I did ROTC.
Look at you.
There you are.
I did. Trust me, if I wanted to, you'd be referring to me as Second Lieutenant Smith right now. But I decided to travel a different path when I graduated from college. But speaking about voting, of course, I want to let everyone know that we are just days away. We're 6 days away from the election. Your vote is your voice. Now, more than ever, vote on November 3rd. Residents of Kansas City, Missouri may call the NAACP Kansas City branch at 816-421-1191 for a free ride to the poll. Now, of course, we do know that that earlier this year, Patrick Mahomes decided to partner up with LeBron James and his voting deal. I know Tyrann Matthews had his. As you see, I have the T-shirt on. I know his charity foundation partnered up with others, with the NFL, of course, to do voter registration. Arrowhead Stadium this Tuesday is going to be an election poll site. So if you live in Jackson County, but you live in the parameters of Kansas City, you can go to Arrowhead and vote. You just have to bring, your license or some type of
bring your ID.
Yeah, and so you get a chance to vote. You'll have to vote electronically, but you can go to Arrowhead Stadium.
And they'll also have bus service from downtown to Arrowhead. It'll be at a central location, a bus service. They'll pick you up and they'll take you out to Arrowhead and bring you home.
Yeah, so I got a chance to ask Patrick today about it, thanking him for what he'd done. But then what is next after that? This is what Patrick had to say.
Hey, Patrick, first of all, congratulations on you and Tyron getting people registered to vote and getting it at the polling location. But I got a question for you that I have a follow-up. But have you had a chance to get out and vote yet, or do you plan on doing that on Election Day? And then also, what does success look like for you and Tyron, for what you all did? Then again, I have a follow-up.
Yeah, well, Well, first off, thanks. And then second off, I have gotten to vote, and I got to send my vote in, absentee voting, and everything like that. And then I think for us to have success is to continue to move forward. We actually are going to be able to meet with Mark here either this week or this next week, and to continue to strive to get more Black-owned businesses the support that they need. And I think it's to continue to get the conversation going up until Election Day, and then even past that with different things that we can help out the community with. And so, having as many people vote is obviously the first step of right now, how important this election is. But the next step is to continue to help out our community and help out the people that need the help the most.
And I'm glad you said it, because that was where I was going with in regards to, everything happening for a reason. We had the economy, the country shut down due to COVID. We saw what happened to George Floyd. Obviously, you got a chance to speak out in support of Black Lives Matter. Wondering if that hadn't happened, if you would have had the ripple effect that we got right now with you supporting that, you doing the voting thing. Again, as you mentioned, post November 3rd.
30.
How do you plan to continue to utilize your voice and your platform to affect change, not only in the African-American community, but as a community at whole, of which you are a part of?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is keeping the conversation going and then going out and taking action. And I think with this meeting that we're going to have with Mark, he's already had a lot of great ideas that he's learned from people in the community that are out there firsthand making change happen. And we'll be able to, as the Chiefs, as an organization, go in with our players and do whatever we can to help improve and impact those communities and help out as many people as possible.
Frank, I know we don't get a chance to talk much about but about the character of this man, but with what you heard, what did you take away from what Patrick had to say?
He's best. We talked about first best ambassador the city could possibly have. Doing that, reaching out, and doing his thing. And Tyrann Mathieu, same way. Just look at the two guys. Just watch them on a daily basis, and you understand exactly what these two guys are about. They're very, very powerful individuals, and they're using their platform for positivity. The Chiefs also have reached out. I don't know how much there is about this, but they've also reached out to Native American the population of the area, and are trying their best to, bring them into the fold as well, to say, to talk about, hey, we understand, we're trying to understand, we're doing the best we can here, help us out, tell us what you need. And Mark Donovan's been spearheaded that as well. So the whole franchise has been, and Andy Reid, just the kind of guy he is. He just, you know what I mean? It's just, this has been a perfect storm for this city. This franchise has been a perfect storm. The guys they have and the people they have leading it, and what they're doing right now, they're way out in front of the deals at the moment. So
you want to?
Just a hell of an organization from top to bottom.
Yes,
I mean, hell of an organization. It's nice having a team and an organization you can actually feel proud, to be a fan of. It's enjoyable.
I think the biggest thing is that, especially when we got past this whole Tyreek stuff, is that now when you go to bed at night, you don't have to worry about hearing about a Chiefs player doing something that you like, come on, man, seriously. So like you said, you can be proud of, you don't have to worry about that 3 a.m. phone call. If you're Clark Hunt, players know they had a responsibility. They got the Super Bowl ring, so and they got a taste of victory. They want to come back for more. They're willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to do it. And I think that says a lot from the organization from top all the way down.
Yeah, right. If you are a problem, you won't be here long. I'm sure they let Le'Veon Bell know right away.
The one thing,
and Le'Veon Bell really wasn't a problem in Pittsburgh.
He just wanted
disgruntled by deal, and he sat out a year. Made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake sitting out a whole year. Yeah. Okay, he ends up with the Jets. For God's sake, you just go, oh man, they traded me. They traded me to hell. And then all of a sudden
he signed. He didn't get traded.
Yeah, well, right. He signed. He signed with the Jets. Okay,
that's
signed.
Bad.
I signed with the devil. Okay, and so he's rid of them. Thank God. That's a bad. I hope that Eric Bieniemy does not end up in New York with the Jets.
We'll talk about that on the.
One thing I gotta say, Andy Reid. As much as I love the Chiefs organization, Andy may have lied about this.
Look forward to the challenge of playing the Jets.
They're a good coach.
Good football team.
Yeah.
Well coached.
Hey, when he said that, my friend, I was like, what the hell? Who are you talking about? Let's go to break, come back. You listen to Darren Sterling. We are joined by the great Frank Boal here on ESPN Kansas City.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let Jazz cook for you?
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's what we do at Jazz. Papa Vic here to tell you about what's happening at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. COVID still got you down? No worries. We're open. Come in and let Jazz cook for you. We've partnered with Proactive Protect to provide nanotechnology protection that sanitizes all our tables, chairs, and the interior of the restaurant. So come on in. Everybody is safe. Tired of your mama's cooking? Check out our website, jazzkitchens.com, and place your order online or through Menufy. Not comfortable coming in? Check out our dedicated curbside parking spots, and we'll bring the taste of New Orleans to your car. 3 locations, the original at 39th and State Line, and at Legends of Village West, our newest location in Independence at I-70 and 291, just east of the Cable Dahmer Arena. Jazz, with a Dixieland band and a sultry day, and everybody.
If you're dreaming about New Orleans, let Jazz do your cooking up for you.
Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Spectrum Brands, the leading supplier of hardware and home improvement, is looking for workers at their local warehouse in Edgerton, Kansas, right off I-35. You'll receive day one benefits, 12 paid holidays, and become part of a culture that we love, made up of the right people, a diverse group of people with varied backgrounds. Spectrum Brands is hiring for warehouse workers $16 per hour and equipment operators $17 per hour. Must have 6 months recent reach truck or order picker experience to be an equipment operator. Apply today at spectrumbrands.com/careers. That's spectrumbrands.com/careers. Turn your job into a career with Spectrum Brands. Stroud's world-famous pan-fried chicken is now open in Lee Summit in the Summit Woods Shopping Center with their all-new Stroud's Express, offering curbside pickup, carryout, and delivery only on their award-winning menu items like the 3-piece pan-fried chicken dinner or family-style meals with the Chicken Bite Family Box or pan-fried chicken combo box. Place your order online and let someone else do the cooking tonight. Plus, this week, get a $20 gift card with every order to be used on your next visit at Stroud's Express in Lee Summit.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission to save the Earth because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
30 seconds.
At Central Bank of the Midwest, we are focused on building strong communities across Kansas City. I'm Bill Ferguson, President and CEO. Our strong roots began more than 100 years ago in the heart of the Midwest and continue today across 5 states and 67 communities. Central Bank of the Midwest brings you
10 seconds. We've got about 5 minutes.
Community bank with the resources and technology to deliver a legendary banking experience. Central Bank of the Midwest, strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We are back here on Darren Sterling on ESPN Kansas City 94.5 FM.
You actually use Sterling's name in this? I thought it's all about you, man. What the hell happened? Huh?
I've been humbled.
Have you?
COVID-19 humbles people sometimes. You know, tomorrow's not promised to you, so we got to let Sterling get a little bit shy.
And by the way, this is Cheap Trick, who we were talking about with Lebo on Monday.
See,
he didn't know Cheap Trick.
It's okay.
First
you
of
don't
all,
have to know Cheap Trick.
Frank knows I come up under Mike Carter and 103.3.
I told you, I
of
love
music.
Mike Carter's a great dude.
Hot jams, baby.
I golfed
Come
with,
on.
I golfed
Let's
with
get
Mike
on.
Carter. He's a nice dude.
That's fine, but that's
great
not,
guy.
But we don't play that kind of music over there. That's just the way it is. Frank, we were.
I played you Al Green. Come on, Love and Happiness.
We appreciate
Sunday
that.
mornings.
We appreciate that. But Frank, now look, you touched on something very important before we went to break. You said, "Joe, Eric Bieniemy don't take the job in New York." I said the same thing to him, and we're gonna talk to him tomorrow on the Zoom. I may be like, Eric, I know your name is out there, bro. You gotta promise me don't go to New York, even if they offer.
I don't know
you.
if he's going to want to hear the question right there. And he ain't going to want to hear that one asked at the moment. Okay, just take it from the old man. Leave that one for a little bit later.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, leave that for
but now here's the flip side. If they were to offer him a job, and of course they had to get rid of Gates. If I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm not taking the job unless it's a 7-year contract. I want the contract that the guy in Carolina, Matt Rule, got down there because one, and I guess even a Jets job, I think he got a 6-year job because one, you kind of have some job security and you got money. Like you let me go, hey, you got to pay all this money. I'm good with that, but what are your thoughts?
I don't know, unless just get Trevor Lawrence, he decides to come out and they're going to go to the Jets. And
so what do you do with Sam Darnold then?
They're dump him. He ain't as good as Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, no, Trevor Lawrence ain't going to be Trevor Lawrence in New York.
Well, no, he's not going to be, but he's got more potential than Sam Lawrence.
Yeah, but you still got to surround. But you got to surround him with talent.
I realize that, and you got a stinking GM and a bad ownership. What do you want to go to that franchise for? I wouldn't go to either New York franchise.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go to either one.
Hey, at least if you're Eric Bieniemy and you go to the Jets, you know you have job security considering they've stuck with Gase this long.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a shame before. Now, the other thing that Frank said, which was he is a master of I guess agreeing with me. Of agreeing with me.
Not really.
No, you did, because you said that Tampa Bay looks like a Super Bowl team now.
They look good.
Who is my Super Bowl matchup?
That's fine.
No.
Tampa Bay and Chiefs.
Okay.
Tampa Bay is not the best team in the NFC. Do they have a chance? Sure.
Absolutely. And they're getting better. Remember, they got a first-year quarterback. The other team you're thinking about is Seattle.
Yeah,
that guy's been there. That guy's been there a long time.
They have a horrible
this guy
defense.
is just getting better and better, and their defense is good. Okay, you're going to find out real quick here. That's a good team. They're good.
Frank, where can people hear you?
Well, I'll be on with Seren Petro from 3 to 4 today. And then Timmy Grunhard and I from 6 to 7 today. Every night on Crunch Time. Every Wednesday on Crunch Time. That's it. They're the only two times I'm on these days.
I thought you were on Sunday.
No. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's CBD and you. That's not a sports based show, but that's CBD and you. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and that's going to change. It's going to be American Shaman Wellness and Rejuvenation. They are teaming up with Revive and Rally. Remember the Revive and Rally people?
Yeah.
They're teaming up with them to put the clinics together. And so that's what we'll be talking about here coming up pretty soon on the CBD and you show.
And what are you all talking about tonight, you and Timmy?
Oh, obviously the Chiefs pass game. We're not going to hit too much on the New York Jets game or on the on the Denver Bronco game. We're going to talk, and we're not even going to talk that much about the Jets. We're going to talk more about where they are, what they're doing, and how things are coming together for them. A little worried about the run defense. Run defense has me just a little worried.
1 minute.
I think they're ranked 29th against the run, 150 yards a game, and they are I think they're number 31 on first downs given up via the run. That's all it worries me.
Big game from Le'Veon Bell this Sunday.
This is it. Let him run.
If you're going to do it, this is the week to do it. Frank, thank you so very much for stopping in with us. Make sure you tune in tonight, 6 to 7 p.m. over on Sports Radio 18 WHB, and of course on
30
Sports Radio in just a moment, HB with Seren Petro. For Sterling Holmes, I'm Darren Smith. This is Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Have a blessed day. Wear a mask and go vote.